miss on a spectacular free kick taken by Mark Silva. Silva in the 14th minute makes it 1-1. What a fantastic strike, the perfect amount of curl to get that, and just it ricocheted over to the far side, ultimately crossed the goal line. Later, Bethesda attack. Here comes Barnes on the near side, left footed cross in towards the middle, dealt with by Maldonado. Collision here along the near side, and Figaro will win the throw. Wind has been morning games. It's coming a little bit more into your screens, but really not affecting play. A very mild breeze coming across the field from the far stadium, as I said, towards the camera position, but real flight paths on any long balls. Bethesda trying to get into the attack. A chance. Trying to find some space on the far side. Barnes is down here on the near side. Gains the free kick. Shake it off. But we're already starting to see some of the players look a little worse for wear. Which is understandable. This Barnes switches it up. That was actually Fields. Fields found Barnes, though, as they had swapped sides for a moment and then went back to their original positions. More substitutes coming on now for Springfield as Coach Maldonado is trying to keep his troops rather fresh. Into the game is Anthony Martinez. Brought down by Fields. Kept in by Springfield, trying the umbrella move. Crunching tackle on the far side, still in play, however. Pushed along, spun back. Try to switch the point of Perkins, unable to get there first. Heavy touch from Mudashiru. Silva. Faking the cross. Maldonado, he is going to put it into the mixer this time. Headed back across the face of goal. High kick there, no call. And now we're going to get a foul, and it's actually coming out. So there is the whistle. We're halfway through, a little bit more, as we're in the 22nd minute of play. Both teams with a goal, though, and a rather entertaining first half of play on day number 1. Bethesda struck first with a goal from Carlos Cardona, coming in the 12th minute. Just a little over a minute later, in the 14th minute, as Mark Silva with a spectacular free kick goal to knot things up at 1 apiece. So day 1 always feels more important, perhaps, than sometime to be in the grand scheme of things, but these teams always wanting to get off on the right foot, whether it's at the youth level or all the way up through the professionals and even into the international stage. If you can pick up 3 points on day number 1, you're not assured of a spot in the knockout rounds, but you definitely put yourself in an advantageous position to where you can later, and even draws gain more significance. 4 points will generally see a team win on day 1, a draw on day 2. Your day 3 prospects are much improved as opposed to the opposite. Let both teams retake the field. Even a draw on day 1 is not the end of things. Just forces yourself to on days 2 and 3. But that's what's so interesting about these different locations. Obviously, just about anywhere you go in the United States, in the mid to late July, you're going to get raining. But that's what's so intriguing about having it in Florida is you get the heat that you're going to get just about anywhere. They've had it just outside of Dallas in recent years. A few years it was in Kansas City. So you're always going to get the heat, but this morning when we showed up, 95% is another. Angel Chavez will come in for Springfield. And that's almost a discussion for a different avenue, because I've always found it interesting as this one comes into the box and a chance. A good volley attempt by Barnes, but he swung and the defender. Chop back towards the corner flag, and just a little too much, and it couldn't be collected. It does stay, so it'll be a deep throw coming up for Springfield. Slides it up. Well positioned defensively, but the pace of Bethesda has been rather impressive. Substitute about to come in now for Bethesda, two of them in fact. So Chris Coppola comes into the game as Carlos Coppola almost got called into action, as I believe. '29th minute, trying to chip the defense. Just ran out of real estate there. Signs is looking for Figaro here on the near sideline. More substitutes coming in for Bethesda. And that speaks as to the weather conditions. It's rather comfortable. It is a very humid day. On the field running around, the humidity really takes it out of you, because once you start to sweat, then your body is just struggling to try to keep cool. So that's part of the reason for some shins, because a lot of times in this age group you won't see this many within a first half. As Barnes called for a little bit of a cheap foul here along the near side. Kashwani calling out instructions. Gets a lot of air underneath this one. One touch passing right now for Bethesda as they find an open man on the far side. Coppola was calling for the pass, but there wasn't really a lane available. Now good cut work. Coppola trying to race to it. Just not able to keep it in along that sideline. Did take a touch on the way through, however, so it's going to be a corner. Another substitution coming in for Bethesda. Hunter Bradau into the game. The shot on, big save. Oluwuseni had the goal in his sights, but just a bit too far underneath. Otherwise, it's 2-1. Soana was able to get a big right hand to that first shot. That was a huge save. Ball came right to Oluwuseni, and he got a heck of a volley through it, but I think the arc of the ball just took that a little too far behind him, and even though he was able to generate some power in behind it, he couldn't strike sweetly through the ball straight onto target. El Kashwani is able to push it up on the attacking third. Possession a little bit harder to come by here in the last few minutes for Springfield. They had a good deal of it earlier in the first half. As we have another substitution coming in. .33rd minute, and Kevin Torres will come into the game. Ekoshwani will go back to Cortez. They exchange passes. Almost intercepted by Coppola. Cortez trying to look for a different option as he drives one up the middle of the field. It is into the danger area. Grabbed by Mudashiru. He's able to send it away at least momentarily off the head of Torres. Into touch on the near sideline. No choice but for Cortez to play it out. Quickly back in off the throw as Bethesda trying to catch them in a quick counter, but numbers are back in blue now. Mudashiru switches it up. Olini Slides it across. Again, a lot of those direct balls just aren't really there for either team right now. They've had some good build-up play, but then when they try to push one up directly from the middle, those have been a little bit more difficult to hang on to. Oluwuseni. Now it's on. They get one through to Coppola, to the left side. He puts it on the left foot, tries to slip it through the 5-hole of the goalkeeper, but he was just a little off balance and really couldn't generate any power behind that shot. Suwane gets it back into play. There was a foul called. Referee seemed like he was almost saying that he wasn't going to call anything based on his body language, but there is a free kick upcoming. Ashrafi comes up just to kind of delay the opportunity to take the kick. Signs to the back post. O'Mahony is there. Now the counter for Coppola. Wants to get it back towards the right foot, but real estate again. Defenders were there. Oluwuseni is off balance. Referee not having any of it as he goes to ground. The counterattack perhaps. Here's Springfield. Decision for the official. And answer in kind with a no call on the other side. Oluwuseni is still down here off to the right. He's in a bit of distress. Took his shin guard out, kind of slammed it to the ground. So now that everything's stopped, he will have to leave the field at least momentarily. So almost a secondary hydration break, obviously not intended. The players retake the field. 38. 1-1. Your score. Some of these halves transpire. Much more open to start the game. Again, another no call as Torres looks exasperated towards the official. Now that is going to be a foul, and a dangerous one at that. Not necessarily because of the placement on the field, but into the book goes Emmanuel Guidillo. So two players into the referee's pocket, both of them for Bethesda Soccer Club. This one comes in the 39th minute. So a little bit of a check over on the other field as Las Vegas Sports Academy has just scored. So they lead Indiana Fire 1-0. So in the spirit of doing live scoring, the way that they do in some of the European matches, this one's just inside the box. Chance to spin and shoot, thwarted by some good defending. But back to the point, as of right now, Las Vegas would be in first position in the group, as they're in a winning position comparatively to the draw that we've got going on right here. Kashwani dropped it off. Then it was stolen away. The favor repaid by Chavez. Just ran out of room here on the near sideline, though. Torres tried to get a little cute with the outside of the left foot. Too much on it. Throw in the other way. Maldonado came over to keep that away from Coppola. From what we've seen in this match thus far, Coppola's got some sneaky speed, if you will. Doesn't necessarily strike you as the fastest striker out there, but once he gets his motor going, then he really gets himself. A chip towards the middle, chested down, and a volley. Difficult for Torres to generate some power behind that. Ball was kind of bouncing away from him. Sila Swane is able to get in behind it. Unconventional goalkeeping, though, as he likes to play that ball off the ground. That is somewhat what goalkeepers were doing probably about 10 years ago or so. Now they've gone more for the rugby-style punt. Can't say I ever favored playing it that way myself, but for some reason I just never mastered the art of goal kicks. Stringing together the passes through the midfield, but no space available on the attacking third. A crunching tackle, and will we see a yellow card handed out the other direction? Referee going to have a word. And it looks like Morales will stay off the list. Now numbers push forward in white. Everybody on the edge of the 18-yard area. Here comes the free kick just inside the arc. Headed away, not out of danger though. Towards the 6-yard area. Still not cleared. Finally pushed over to the near sideline. And it's out for another Bethesda throw. 44th minute of regulation. Figure there'll be at least a couple minutes tacked on for the hydration break. We had an injury plus 2 goals. A high arcing throw. Now we play hot potato with the head balls. Coppola with a bit of a push. and does not get away with it as the free kick is coming out. Quickly restarted. Cortez. Sainz. Chavez trying to walk the tightrope. Ball does leave the field, although it curled back in. Both goals coming in the first quarter hour. This game has really settled down since then. It'll be interesting to see what kind of refresher the halftime provides. Still enough time left for a late push by either team. Coppola got that kick up a little bit high, not necessarily compared to his own body, but his opponent was a little bit lower. But no harm, no foul, as there was no connection with Fields. Up the far sideline. Cunha was knocked off the ball, intended that pass for Bredau. Bredau running in, but the ball was too direct. Strong strike through it. Perkins got Flores stood up momentarily. Near sideline now, looking for the return pass for Flores. It's into touch for Springfield. One in the midfield by Silva. Space in front, but not too much available. It's a good back check, if you will, being employed by Bethesda. They try to strike on the counter. Coppola chips one defender. And there's that sneaky speed I was talking about. He's got that long stride, but well played by Maldonado. Fields felt the pressure coming, has to peel away, gains the throw. Sawane looking a little bit frustrated. Drop back by Ashrafi. Perkins. Switching the point of attack again. On the left foot. On the left wing. First chance, not there. Second opportunity. Perry was kind of taken out. But there is the halftime whistle. 1-1 is your score at the break. As I mentioned, both goals coming in the first quarter of an hour. The first goal came for Bethesda. Cardona scored in the 12th minute, answered by Silva in the 14th. And we are halfway through this contest. Don't go too far. When we come back, we'll have your second half of action. Turbo Sports bringing you the 2021 U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships. And welcome back to Bradenton as we're just about ready to kick things off here in the second half. Bethesda Soccer Club against Springfield South County Youth Club. 1-1 your score. Once again, if you're just joining us, the goals were scored by Cardona in the 12th minute and Silva in the 14th. The goalkeeping change as Springfield going to change things up. They're going to put in Grant Fisher in between the sticks. Bethesda sticking with O'Mahony. Now here's Oluwasani pushing one outside and quickly called into action as Fisher coming over and making the collection on that ball. Again, we mentioned it in the first half. Making those early touches, getting a feel for it. So a free kick coming up for Bethesda. The movement comes around as they try to kind of get everybody to run into each other. Unsuccessful in doing so. So Springfield able to clear that one away. Second attempt done away with as well. Silva heads it over towards the near side. Knotted down as Cunha got it up the sideline. Cardona had it pilfered away. In the middle, Figaro lost it. Pepra had it knocked away into touch. We do it again, once again further down the field. Towards the back post. Sent away at least for now. O'Mahony's calling for it. Pass didn't come off as crisply as he would have liked. Goal kick is gained, but that'll put a few lumps into the throats of Bethesda fans. Kick given just outside the circle. Puts it a back spinner. Headed away as Mudashiru got that initially and then volleyed off by Pepra. One through to Welch. Now they lob one over the top. Just as as that one would have been difficult to deal with from Perkins. Budashiru plays it up through the middle, but it's intercepted. Welch tried to slip it through to the far side. Blasted over. Sun climbing higher into the sky. The weather conditions, especially for those out on the field, getting a little more difficult to deal with. The humidity is so high and starting to rise with the sun coming out in full force that the wind is not. Chance towards the far post. Just a little too much curl towards the outswinging direction. Pop shot up. Throw in coming up for Springfield. Put back into play. Slips one through. Kuna tried to repay the favor. Side, but on the outside. I think there was one or two fans over on the far side that were a bit hopeful that that had snuck in, but not quite yet. Still 1-1. One thing you can mention about the conditions is Carolina teams are going to be a little more accustomed to these conditions than some of their northern counterparts. But oftentimes, eventually, you just kind of cross a threshold where it's uncomfortable for everybody. Cardona was able to tap it towards the wing. Perry. Perry again. Good footwork here. They slide it over towards the near wing. Pepra rolls over it, wants to take it back onto the right foot. Just wasn't too much space available in the middle. Ideally, I think he would have kept that on the left foot, tried to get across, but oftentimes with these attacking players, it's just too much of a salivating opportunity to get it back on that strong foot and have the opportunity to both either take a shot or put it across the way. Pepra had it chopped away. So we'll redo the throw in a little further down the field. Foul in the defensive third, so free kick will come out. Things in this half starting to swing just a little bit the direction of Springfield, but Bethesda has still had every opportunity to push forward. Actually reverse that. I always had that habit when I was a referee as well. It's second half. I forget which way teams are going. So Bethesda has had the better of the play here in the second half, with Springfield with the occasional push into the attacking end. Off the outside of the foot of Ventura. It's stolen. Barnes goes the other way. Trying to switch it up. Pepra runs underneath. A heavy first touch, heavy second touch. Defender came over, played it off of Pepra. That will keep it in. That was close to the sideline, and it will leave. The assistant in good position right along the line to spot that. Little flick towards the middle. Couldn't be handled. Bethesda had a man there. Just unable to be controlled. Perry puts it up towards Barnes. Dangerous kick called, so free kick coming out. Brought down. Figaro trying to slip one through. Flicked away. Mahoney, after making the grab, kind of slices that one over towards the sideline. That somehow managed to stay in for the longest time. It does end up going over the sideline. Throw in favors Springfield, much to the behest of some of the Bethesda players. Into touch again. Switching the point of attack. Pepra from the left wing. Tries to drive inside the area. Not too much in the way of space. Good defending by El Kashwani. He was able to clear it away. Pushed right by Oliniyi. Perry. Through. Now Perkins. O'Mahony. Back for Oliniyi. Was trying to get it up to Pepra, intercepted by Silva. He's surrounded, still manages to knife his way through the defenders. Good settle. Asifa. Up to Welch. Asifa again. Welch, flag stays down. Welch looking for the cross. Sliding challenge, knocked that away. Back towards the end line, another sliding stab at it. And that one knocked over the near sideline. Good defensive play overall. Owen Cunha. Couple sliding tackles, able to knock that one loose. Long throw inside the box. Oleniyi was able to get it away. Very difficult to beat a central defender of his size. Homlecker was in the vicinity, just a bit too tall for him. Perry up the far sideline, trying to get with Perkins, who had made one, but all for naught as it just was a Perkins was dispossessed. But again, Springfield just unable to push forward right now. Possession starting to become more and more precious for Springfield South County. It's not as though Bethesda has really grabbed this game by the scruff, but it's been more in their attacking end than not. Perry gets in front of it. Wasn't able to gain control, though. Slicing ball through the middle. Just wasn't quite on. Both players frustrated by that. As that was Chavez making the run. It never was quite on. Now here's a counteracting opportunity. Coming over at the last moment. Maldonado, that would send that one away, at least for now. Again, looking to go through the middle. Barnes. Ball just won't settle down for him. Chips it back towards the far wing. Chested down. Swing. And that one denied. Fisher able to get in behind it. Great opportunity there for Olawuseni. But similar to what you experience sometimes in hockey, later in the game, you get kind of choppy ice. It almost seems to be what's going on with the field right now. The condition's still pretty good. Obviously, it's dried out from this morning. But ball taking a lot of strange hops. So it just wouldn't cleanly settle down for Bethesda. Otherwise, they would have had a really good crack at goal. Springfield trying to have a bit of possession here as they swing it around the edge of the umbrella on the perimeter. Now a long ball through the middle, flicked on by Welch, but offside against Ventura. I think Ventura was onside when that initial cross was made, but then the header by Welch played him off. Substitution coming in now, back into the game, is Anthony Martinez. He will take the spot of Welch. This game. Springfield again trying those long balls as they were looking for Chavez. Unable to connect. Kuna. Did. Now into the box, but again, defenders just all around. It goes out for a throw. Another substitute coming in. A couple, in fact. Into the game now for Bethesda. Aiden Ashrafi. Carlos Flores is into the game as well. So if you get some good air underneath this, it's as good as a corner. They go line drive with it instead. Looking for Oluwuseni. That's as good of a target as you could try to pick, but when you go kind of line drive with it like that, it's difficult to deal with. So, closing in on the midway point of this half, they're going to allow the stoppage to take place. Water breaks around, and we'll take a break as well. 1-1 your score. Back in just a minute. Coming over to thwart the attack was Oleni. He gains the free kick. O'Mahony comes over, he'll take it. That allows players to push forward for Bethesda. Drop now for Flores. He'll fill. Barnes back. Again, some of these passes back to the goalkeepers on both sides have been rather dangerous here today. A little bit more so on the side of Bethesda, but they've gotten away with it thus far. Quickly back. Kuna's throw ends up catching the breeze and going out. Now that it's somewhat affecting some of those high balls. It's going from the far left flag to the near right. So it's kind of changed directions a couple times today, but this is the first time it's gusted up. Really have any kind of but or the back of your head. It a little bit affected by the heat. I believe that was El Kashwani. So into the game now is Jesse Cortez. So a few more players coming over towards the sideline. Trying to cool down a little bit. So hopefully for everybody's sake, he is going to be all right. As now apparently they're going to have another break. So understandable given the situation, but it's coming so recently after the last one. Kind of an odd decision. Still go with it. Safety is paramount in these situations. It's a lot different than when some of the older people in the audience were kids just kind of get out there, run around. If you need water, they'd come up with some sort of connotation for it. But these days, so many more studies being made and nutrition. As everybody has retaken the field, there will be one additional substitution coming out of the field as Coach Maldonado looking sort of squad of 11 that's going to push into the attack. And that's not a knock on his team either, because they've well throughout this game, but you just have to give credit to as they have really managed to by the collar just a little bit, as now we have a discussion, I believe, between the fourth official and Pepra. I'm not sure if he was feeling any effects of the heat. Flores is over there as well. So there is a U.S. youth soccer official coming over with some extra waters. So I'm not sure if they're keeping the game somewhat stopped due to perhaps worrying about player safety. So the spot Springfield player threw up. And there's no other way to say it. The reason why they had a stoppage, but didn't want to come out and say it. But again, just not meaning to make light of the situation. You obviously hope for the Wingfield involved, and one would have to figure, even if he doesn't return to action today, that he should be fine for the next few games. Just some food, get some sports drinks, rehydrate. Next one. No, it'll be very interesting to see how much time is. The referee has checked his watch. I would have. At this level, you don't see the referees kind of guesstimate how much they need to. But I almost figured that the clock watch. Still at this point, confusion. I mean, if you're going to delay the game this much, I don't see why they just don't have the players go off the field. Perhaps they're needing to bring over sawdust or something. That isn't doing a disinfectant. So we do apologize for the delay, but these are the kind of precautions taken, given everything that's going on in the world today. So now the players retake the field. Seems as though all the he'll go direct strike through it up the far wing. Try Barnes. It's Ryan Barnes. Both teams do have a Barnes. Near wing now. Nice step over move. Figaro dispossessed with a sliding challenge. Well timed by Owen Kuna. Fields goes to ground. He is going to get the free kick. Feeling a little bit hard done by that, and is Aiden Ashrafi. Didn't think there was too much contact in on it. From our vantage point, I would kind of agree with that assessment, but the referee has a different viewpoint from it. It does come just, but not by as much as I would have thought. I thought that was a good yard out of this one, only coming a few feet. O'Mahony trying to line up his wall. Given the angle, he's only going to put 3 men in there. Signs. And Silva coming over. Silva's got the lone goal for Springfield. Can he have another sweet strike? He's going to go for the cross this time. Dealt with by the defender. It's curling away. And this one will go out for a corner. Fields goes short with it. Silva comes up. He's going to take a crack towards the edge of the box. The 6-yard box, that is. One time out. Oroshiru was able to get that away from danger, at least for the moment. Then Fields, with a miscue, gives possession right back. Trying to pop one over the top to Pepra. Flores. Pepra again. If given the opportunity. So they do blow things dead. Coming back into the game, Jeffrey Morales. Now back in for Pepra. Chopped towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Oluwaseni was in the vicinity, but here is Oluwaseni. It's taken down. Foul on Fields, gives up the free kick. Bit of distance between the kick and the goal. Be giving up too many. So Perkins checks out. Back into the game is Cardona. Driven ball, handled by the defense. Fields taps it to the near side. Silva trying to run to it. That was actually Martinez. Nevertheless, neither one got there. Pepra lunges in front of it. Gains the throw as there was no connection made. Pepra with the step over. Fakes the left-footed cross, and then it's awkwardly off the back heel and out. So a goal just scored over on the other field. Las Vegas now leads Indiana 2-0. So again, that's just of interest to fans of this game because those two teams are in the same group. So as things stand right now, Las Vegas would be in first place unless one of these two teams were able to score 2 goals here in whatever time is remaining in this half. So a little under 2 minutes left in regulation, but we know that we're going to have more than that added onto this game due to that lengthy stoppage, due to the field conditions needed to be tended to. Miscommunication there as Bethesda couldn't connect on the pass towards the area. Would have been a good opportunity. As they push forward again. Into touch though, back to Springfield. Barnes sends it across. Fields making the run. That pass kind of split its opportunities. Barnes was making the run into that area. Didn't have enough to get to him. Morales was also there as well, but was too strong for his path. Blasted away, cleared out by Acuna. Another substitute about to check in. Coppola will come back into the game as he will replace Fernandez. So Coppola's got the fresh legs, but they're unable to connect to him on the pass after Oluwaseni was blown up on the challenge. He is shaken up, still struggling to get. For the harm in the middle. Didn't care for the way side. It couldn't be held onto by Bradau. Springfield, a little bit of space in front, but too many touches. Quickly or take the shot. Oluwaseni had it taken away. A little bit of frustration shown in his challenge. Fans on the official saw nothing wrong. About to check back into the game now is Kevin Torres. So as we are in stoppage time game, so that is a 2-0 victory for Las Vegas Sports Academy. But again, given the situation, I'd say a good 10 minutes may be added on to this one. Scoreline of 1-1. The referee's going to want to give each team every opportunity. Fighting goal. Now Flores shuffleboarded it back. O'Mahony coming out towards the edge of the box. He was a little bit apprehensive at the up along the grass. I think he was afraid it wasn't going to make. It did have enough momentum to get into the box. The first quarter of an hour of this game. So the Heat are still out of that energy that they had in the first. As will just about anything. Comes with on his back. Springfield looking to counter. Fields peel back just a little bit. Barnes struggles to find the handle. Second opportunity laid back. Otto to Fields. Switches. But then heavy on the touch inside the box. Tony will put it back in. Springfield trying to get on the front. It's not too much in the way of space. Goalkeeper out. And a touch along the near sideline. Throw into Bethesda. Trying to look just out of reach of Morales. It's bandied back in through the midfield. Lunging poke at it. White are up to try to get a hold of this one. Flores goes toward the post, a flick on away. Foul was given nevertheless. But there it is. Time whistle. So this one will minute. Scoring the goal was Carlos Cardona for Bethesda. He was matched by a goal on a fantastic by Mark